That was a challenge. Welcome, everybody, to our stress-related, anxiety-related webinar. What I'd like to do for you today is I want to go through different, first of all, I'll break it up. I'm going to start off like I always do. I like to mention a little bit of the Torah, the Jewish stuff, so that everybody feels very comfortable and knows that we're kosher, so to speak. Okay, that's where I want to begin, knowing that crystals, everybody should feel very comfortable using crystals. Crystals, the term crystals, interchangeable between crystals, stones, minerals, gemstones, call them what you like. They're all the same, and I'll use different terms. Don't be confused, please. So I want to do the Torah bit. I want to do a little bit to tell you about crystals and how they work and how I work with them. And then we're going to dig into further what they can do to us to support us during times of anxiety. I want to go through some of the issues that people have during times of anxiety and how there are ways that we can try and move ourselves out of these. But sometimes we don't even have the energy for that. So what is it in the crystals that could support us using these techniques? Okay. Some of these techniques, many of these techniques, we're going to say, Gila, we know them. But did you know that the crystal that would be able to help you? Okay. So that's what I want to do. So I'm going to start off by sharing my screen. Okay. So we're going to, I really normally, okay, hang on, wait, just tell me. Okay, you've got the whole screen here? Okay. In the Torah, in Parashat Shmot, it tells us the garments that are worn by the high priest, by the Kohen Gadol, in the Beit HaMikdash. Now, one of the garments that he wore was the HaHoshen Mishpat, the breastplate. And this we can see here on this beautiful picture from Machon HaMikdash, which is a fabulous place in Jerusalem where they build all the items relating according to the specifications in the Torah, the Gemara, etc. They create all of these items. So please God, we're going to get the Beit HaMikdash very soon. They're all ready. So therefore we have these beautiful pictures that they have made, and it's a place that you could go and have a look for yourself. I love going there. I feel grateful to them for what they do. So I want to share that with you. They're in the old city in Jerusalem. Anyway, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, wore on the breastplate, there were 12 stones. Each of these 12 stones represented one of the 12 tribes of the Jewish nation. And they were each different stones. So therefore, we know that the high priest, Kohen Gadol, was wearing the whole Jewish nation on his heart. The most important organ is the heart. And that is where he held, God told him, keep the Jewish nation there on your heart. That's a really important thing to say, to show how close that we are the children of God and how much he loves us, and that's where he wants us to be. And then I want to tell you, I'm going through this briefly, and I'll do in another couple of weeks, there will be a webinar where I'll go through more about the 12 Avnei HaHoshen and more about the Torah and your sources. But at the moment, I want to focus so that we get to the issue that you've all come today, for which you have all come today. So Rabbeinu Bachaye, who is a Spanish Kabbalist who lived in the 13th century, he has a lot of commentary, a lot of things that he says about the Avnei HaHoshen. One of the things that he says is, Ein lecha kol even ve'even min ha'avanim hayekarot shelo timshoch koach min ha'elyonim. There is no stone from among the precious stones which will not draw down energy from above. All of the stones will draw down energy from above. He says also, which isn't written here, but he tells us, one of the things that he tells us is that all of the stones, all of the precious stones that we have are derivatives of the 12 Avnei HaHoshen, of the 12 Hoshen stones. So that is like a really important thing that we want to know, that we need to know, that all of the stones that we're using. So when I take the rose quartz, which is not one of the 12 Avnei HaHoshen, but when I take this stone, it is still precious, it's still important, and it still has power. So I always used to think inanimate objects, stones are inanimate objects. What do they have? But they have lots of beautiful energy. So it's important for us to be aware of that and know that we can use it. Hashem, God, has given us a beautiful gift of crystals. So let's use it. The other thing that's important for me in the Gemara, okay, the Gemara is going back like 1,500 years, the Talmud. It says there that a woman on Shabbat can carry the Even Tkuma in order to prevent her from having a miscarriage. Okay. Now, we won't go into the Shabbat aspect of carrying and not carrying because that's not our topic, obviously. Our topic is, or what we can learn from here, is that in the Gemara, that they were telling us that there is a stone called the Tkuma stone, or what we might call today the carnelian stone. Okay, there is a stone that you and I can use, or whomever needs it, in order to prevent miscarriage. And I think that that is an amazing thing. So we see that the crystals were a part of the conversation. And I think that that is something so, so special to know that they were talking about it and they recognized it. So what I'm going to do, I have to tell you, I went actually yesterday, I went to visit a woman who is still sitting Shiva for her son, who was killed, a soldier, a brave, wonderful soldier who was killed in Lebanon. And he was killed during Sukkot. So they started sitting Shiva after Sukkot. And I went to see her. And I took her some stones with me because there are stones to use during times of mourning. And of course, I wanted to give her those stones. And I know that she likes crystals. How do I know she likes crystals? Because when she was pregnant about 10 years ago, and she was 40 years old at the time, she was around 40. She was nervous. She was quite nervous about this pregnancy because she felt she's older and she's nervous. So she asked me, do I have any crystals? So of course, what stone am I going to give her? I'm going to give her the Even Tkuma, the carnelian stone, and another stone, which created a set of stones which help to protect pregnancy. And I gave her these stones to use, and she carried them with her throughout her pregnancy. And she said to me yesterday, she's telling me this in front of all the people that are sitting there with her. She said, Gila, and you can't believe what happened. Now, she told me before, her sister-in-law had told me before, and I hadn't heard it from her. She said, Gila, we were all sitting around. They live in what we call in Israel, the Hamula. It's a clan, right? There's her sister lives nearby, and her husband's brothers, like about 3 of them, and sisters, and they're very close family. And so they're all sitting, and she's like 40, 41 weeks, whatever it may be. And they're all sitting around together, and it's like, chop, chop, it's time to have this baby. You're supposed to be having this baby. And then somehow or other, one of her sister-in-laws says to her, what do you have there? What is that? She said, these are my stones, the stones that I got from Gila. And she said, they're to protect your pregnancy, to prevent miscarriage. It's time to finish this pregnancy. She took the stones away. Her sister-in-law grabbed the stones from her. She said, Gila, immediately I had Yuridat Mayim, my waters broke. And she said, we're all sitting there. The men were there, the women were there. She said, I nearly died of embarrassment. That was it, Baruch Hashem. And she went on and she had the baby. So Baruch Hashem, she has this 10-year-old boy who's going to give her lots of comfort during these very trying times for her. But she had to share that story with me, even yesterday. So now you're going to say, okay, how do these crystals work? What's the story? First of all, they're a gift that we have from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. God has given us an incredible gift of crystals. And it is incumbent upon us to use these gifts that he has given us. He placed them in this world for us. So I'm doing free webinars and doing what I can because I want to share this. And I think it is so important that people know about this. Okay, so I teach about it and I do lots of things dealing with crystals and I love them. They're a passion of mine, in case you didn't notice. So people are actually attracted to crystals that are good for them. So people come to me, they look at my big box of crystals or my boxes of crystals, and they choose different crystals. And once they have chosen crystals, then I understand what is going on for them in their lives, what went on in their history. If God forbid somebody went through some sort of sexual abuse, it's going to be apparent. Okay, I'm going to see that. I'm going to ask them questions about it. Obviously, I ask them nicely and I'm not tough, whatever, but we're going to work through these issues. We're going to have crystals that are going to then help us to remove the trauma. Once we understand that somebody still has a trauma, then we want to know, we want to cleanse this trauma, and we're going to be using the crystals for this as well. Okay, somebody who has very poor self-confidence said, one of the women yesterday said to me, so what do? I said, look, if you have a child that doesn't have self-confidence, you're going to go to the doctor and say to the doctor, to your pediatrician, my child doesn't have self-confidence, what are you going to give him? But you could come to me and ask me, what are you going to give them? And I will give you. I had a woman who called me up, her child was a preemie, and it takes, if babies are very early, it takes a while for them to actually get over this, as in years. So he was in kindergarten and he was like just not thriving there. So she asked me, what do you suggest? She said the kids bully him, they bash him up, all different things. So I gave her a remedy of what I felt from what she told me. This is just from what she told me, of different stones. I gave them, I sent them off to her. And she called me a few weeks later. She said, what a difference in this child. He is just functioning so much better and he's so much happier, and he's happy to go to kindergarten again. Okay, and I've had children that are happy to go to school, children where the teachers see the difference in the child. I had one teacher, after this child had an assessment, calling up the mother and saying to the mother, your child's improved so much, I'm so happy, etc., etc. Teacher's got no idea why the child's improved, but the mother knows, and the mother made sure to tell me why as well. So that's sort of part of what I do and how the crystals work. Now, I want to move through. What is stress? Where do we feel stress? Ladies, I'm going to say this word to you, and I want you to think. I'm going to say this word, and you tell me where you feel it and write in the chat. Anxiety, stress. Where are you feeling it? I want to see the thing. Write it in the chat. Every answer is a good answer. Great. Amy feels it in her throat. Neck, stomach, lower back, sternum, chest, shoulders, lumbar, back, neck. Okay, neck. Thank you. It's coughing, throat, head. Okay, so we're getting everybody, we feel it in different places because it affects different people differently. It affects people differently, but we all are going to feel it. We're going to be more sensitive, and we're going to feel that stress, tension somewhere, and different people, tension. People get headaches, sore back, shoulders, neck, throat, so many different things. Okay, now it can build up in our body, and then we need to try and release it. That's going to be a challenge, isn't it? Okay, so we all know about stress. Everybody knew how to answer me, because we all know what it is. We all experience it, whether it's before the Chagim or whether it's when somebody hasn't come home and one of the kids are coming home late at night, whatever it may be, we all know what it is, and the anxiety, and it can be a constant state, on, off, etc., etc. So I want to keep on going here, Because I know it's very easy for me to say, guys, it's very important to exercise. Fine, you're right. It's going to get those endorphins going and everything else. But I don't have the energy. I don't have the ability. So I want to suggest what crystals are going to support that. So first, I'm going to begin with, we want positive images. We want to be able to focus on positive images and have positive self-talk and just feel confidence. Okay? You want to feel good about yourself. You want to say good things to yourself and really positive images instead of those scary images that are going on. It's very easy. Our brain naturally goes to the scary picture. And I want to tell you what I've done sometimes. I really, really have done it. When my brain is really going to that scary side and I'm concerned and I'm worried and I'm in that loop and I literally take my head and I move it to here. And now, instead of seeing the lamp that's fallen over there, literally, I'm going to see all my pens and pencils. Something's changed. Something's shifted for me. I want that to happen for you as well. Okay. Now, I want to suggest that the quartz crystal, okay, this stone is a quartz crystal. Boy, I forgot something. Okay, I'm going to come back to it. It's important. The quartz crystal, you'll agree with me, ladies. Quartz crystal is a stone that gives us positive energy. So I need energy because usually, often when I'm anxious and stressed, I don't have the ability to do so. I need positive energy, okay? And I need a good friend, which the quartz crystal can be for me, and it can give me that physical energy that I need as well. Okay. The other stone, which is an interesting one, is the petasite, which you'll see a picture of in a minute. Okay, that reminded me that I'd forgotten something because very often in my webinars, I place a picture with all the different crystals. And I didn't get and ask you to choose what you feel like. And I didn't do that. So we're going to do that. Okay. But I'm going to tell you about the petasite stone because what it can do, it can actually push us to make change in areas that we want to make change, right? We have certain energy patterns. This is the way I function. My head always goes to the negative side. I'm stressed. I'm worried. The phone rang and I jumped. No, we want to change that pattern. We want to, and the petasite is a stone that helps you make change it shakes things up. So it's actually a bit of a strong stone. So yeah, there are some stones that are more gentle and some stones that are less gentle. And this one is a little bit of a jolting stone, but it's good. It gives you also energy because we need energy. Very often, we've just like sapped of energy during these periods of time. Okay, so it gives us our personal power, gives us really confidence as well, and it helps us to focus as well. So that's very important. Of course, I'm going to tell you about the rose quartz because the rose quartz is our self-confidence stone. And I want you to have confidence that you can make change. You're able to get out of this situation. I can do it. I want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to know that you can really do things. And that is what you get when you have the rose quartz. It just gives you that feeling. And there's in so many situations when we just, even if it's a diet, okay, very different situation, but if we want to go on a diet, I recommend people have the rose quartz. You've got to feel you've got the ability to do these things, whether it's getting out of the loop of anxiety and stress, or whether it's starting that diet, or whether it's taking that walk, okay? And when I talk about taking the walk, we need, yes, the exercise, whether you take a break from your desk, a break from whatever you're going through, first of all, it breaks the situation, okay? And it gets the endorphins, these happy endorphins that are going in your life, okay? Going through your body. And I want to tell you something else. Smile. Yeah. And yes, you can put on a fake smile. It doesn't have to be authentic because your brain does not discern the difference. So everybody here, okay, smile. Smile. First of all, yeah, and it makes you feel better inside, and it's going to start those happy things going. So very often when I'm feeling, for whatever reasons, not so crash hot, I put on that fake smile, okay, and it just gets a different chain going. So it's like something very important. Um, and here we can take copper. Copper is also like a stone, right? Copper, that you all know what copper is. And this gives strong energy to the body and to the brain. We need that. And it helps us to have positivity, right? To feel just positive because we're feeling negative. That's why our brain's going that way. That's why we're worried. That's why we're anxious. That's why we're negative. Okay, so copper is really good. Remember the days where people were wearing for arthritis copper bracelets? Copper, Copper. Okay, that's my Australian accent here. That's good that you asked. Okay, people wearing copper bracelets. That also gives you physical energy as well. It helps with the lethargic tendencies. Well, as we say in Hebrew, "Ein li koach," I don't have energy. So the copper is going to help to have energy and to really vitalize somebody. Another thing that I would like to recommend, okay, is that you try and set goals for progress. Together with this, I'm going to say, don't be a perfectionist. Now, you could have minimal goals. They don't have to be huge goals. Somebody said to me, 3 goals a day, max. So if you're a 3-goal person, that's fine. If you're a 10-goal person, that's fine. And if you're 1, that's also fine. Accept it. It's okay. It's okay. And make the list, okay? And see what you can do there. Break it down. Really break it down into little steps, into baby steps, so that you could try and achieve what you've done. Now, very often, happens to me, we look at our list and we say, I didn't get this done. I didn't get that done. I didn't get anything done. However, if you look at your list at the end of the week or at the end of the month, your accomplishments are far greater. You're going to say, I had this and this and this and this, and I got these things done. So I want you to appreciate that. And I want you to look at your list, not just on a daily basis. Look at it over time. It's really, really important. And what are we going to use to help us? The stone that I've chosen here and that I recommend would be the amethyst. Okay, apart from the fact that the amethyst is really good, it has a soothing and it has a relaxing effect on us. It helps with anxiety, it helps with fear, the amethyst, but it also improves our motivation and it helps us to set realistic goals. Maybe that's why I'm such an amethyst lover, because I have goals up to sky. And sometimes they're just like so not realistic. So, and sometimes they are, and sometimes we push ourselves harder. Whatever, everybody in their own way has to do what works for them. But it's a comforting stone as well. So when we're going through stressful times, be kind to yourself. Appreciate the soothing and relaxing effect of the amethyst stone. I didn't even put an amethyst on my desk, which is amazing. Incredible. I have one with me that I'm wearing, but I didn't put it on my desk because it's such an obvious stone to me, but I apologize. Then we want to go to another stone, which is interesting, the ruby fuchsite. Okay, this here is a ruby fuchsite. Okay, it's green and black, and it's got flecks of ruby, red ruby in it. Now, this is a stone that encourages a positive and courageous state of mind. Helps us to be positive, helps us to be courageous, to get out of that cycle. It helps you with your motivation, and it helps you to follow what makes you happy. Imagine when we can do what makes us happy, those happy endorphins are going in our body. And when those happy endorphins are running, we're actually authentically smiling. And what we do for our environment, what we do for ourselves. And when we do it for ourselves, then we're doing good for all of our family. Okay, so they're really important. The other thing I want to say is what can really change our energy, right? Ruby Fuchsite, Fuchs for Sam, ITE. Okay. When we can actually lie with crystals, what does that mean? We have energy centers in our body, the crown, the third eye, the communication, emotions, etc. Okay, we have different energy centers in our body, and there are crystals that you place on the different energy centers. You lie with these crystals for 20 minutes. Okay, it's a set of what I would call women's crystals. They have a lot of good things that they could do for us, but they can also calm us down, take away stress, do so much to align our different energy centers and to make us feel better. They help us to get the energy flowing through our body. We want good energy flowing in and out of our body. And when you lie with the crystals, it is extremely beneficial. Now, it is important, okay? We want to see things. We want to try and do what I call a positive reframe. I learned many when I was still living in Australia and I studied family therapy there. One of the things that we learned about was a positive reframe. So that was like a real blessing for me it's not such a complicated concept, but to really put it in there. And I was traveling, and I give you an example. I was traveling during Chol Hamoed Sukkot with a friend. We were coming back from actually going towards Gaza Strip, where we had a whole big day and events because we want to settle there. Anyway, and we're driving back. And if you know anything about Israel, you'll know that during Chol Hamoed Sukkot or Chol Hamoed Pesach, there's tons of traffic on the road because Israelis love to go out. They love to visit people, tour the country, out and about during Chol Hamoed. It's very beautiful, but it also creates lots of traffic jams. So if you think something's going to take you an hour, somewhere take you an hour. If you don't leave early in the morning, it'll take you 2 hours. And we're coming home, and my friend Leah is driving, and her son is waiting for her to get home so she can give him the car. He was released from the army that day, and he wanted to go and visit his friend who was injured. All makes good sense. And he's home waiting for the car. She said she'll be home at 5:30, 5:30, quarter to 6, 6, 6:15, and she's getting quite anxious, I have to tell you. I said, Leah, you are saving him time because by the time you get home, there will be far less traffic jams on the road. And so you're sitting in the traffic jams. He's not sitting there. And instead of that, he's spending time at home with his father, with his siblings, and not being annoyed. So you just share that with him. She was so excited. She felt it made such a difference for her to be able to look at it in that light instead of I'm running late and I'm making him late, etc., etc. So that's a very good tool. So, but sometimes we're feeling so that we can't do that. So what I want to suggest to you is that you take a stone called the eye agate. Okay, I'm going to show you this eye agate. If you can see, I'm going to have to do this. Okay, that might be better. This eye agate here, okay, has a bit of is cut in the shape of an eye. Okay, you can see why it's called the eye agate, correct? Right? I want you to really see it. Okay, so our eye agate helps us to look at things in a positive way. I like this word better. Okay. So during difficult times, it's going to help us to look at things in a positive light. So it's very good. It helps us also to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Very often we just see blink. But if you know that, okay, I'm going through this challenging time, it shall pass. My daughter will come home, my son will be home, or whatever it may be, I'm going to get over this. It's much easier to go through that challenging time. It's also a good stone for people who are sensitive. And I want to add that in here because I think that many of us are those sensitive people. Now, another suggestion I want to give you is very often we second guess our choices. We have 2 options, 3, 4, 5 options in front of us. We choose one of those options. We can't make up our mind. So during that time that should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do the other? It's causing us anxiety. It's causing us frustration. It's stressful. Make the decision. And if you need help to make a decision, you can take a demodorite stone. That's very helpful. Demodorite. That's helpful to make the decision. And once you've made the choice, okay, go with it. Accept it. Don't complain about it. This is the choice you made, and the other choice that you made may have brought you less beneficial results. Okay? And from a belief point of view, at the end of the day, the choice that we made, that's the decision that Hashem wanted us to make. Okay? But it's not always so easy, and not always so easy to accept that things didn't work out and if I would have made the other choice. So I'm going to recommend the Celestite. It's coming. One's rough and one is polished, Celestite. The Celestite is a great stone for us when things don't work out as we planned them. And I think many times cause a lot of anxiety. Things didn't work out as we planned. Because we have this picture in our minds of how things are supposed to be. I'm supposed to have X number of children, and my children are supposed to go into A, B, C professions, and then they're supposed to get married, and they're having children, and they're going to make money, and this is the way it's going to be. It doesn't actually always work out that way. So the Celestite is very beneficial. It helps us to understand, and it gives us a feeling of confidence. And when we're feeling very sensitive, it helps to calm our body as well. And what is also very good, it can release you from worry in order to actually deal with the problem. So if you don't have that burden of worry on your mind, you can focus on the problem more efficiently. Okay? And one of the things that the Celestite does for us, along with another stone called Howlite, Howlite. You're going to see some of these stones soon. It calms the chatter in our brain, right? Many of us, when the word stress is mentioned, and often, when I do assessments and I'm working on different things and I want to understand how somebody is feeling, I take my hands and I say, where do I feel this? So just automatically, my hands went like this when I said, where do I feel this? And if I would say the word stress, my hands will go here. Because I believe very often stress is in the mind. Our mind is talking and telling us different things. We want to be able to control our mind. We want to be able to stop all that chatter, all of that conversation that's going on our mind. It's going to be this way and it should have been that way, and why wasn't it? And then look, and because of that happened, this is going to happen. All of that stuff, we want to stop it. We want to put a stop to that. Okay? And one of the ways you can take the Celestite, it helps us, and so does the Howlite, Howlite. We'll go into how we use them soon, okay? You'll ask questions. I'll finish, and then we'll have questions, okay? The Howlite is very good, and so is a stone called the smoky quartz. Smoky quartz helps us when we have those negative thoughts. It's going to help neutralize all of those negative thoughts that are going on in our mind, and we don't want them. We just don't want them. Now, and I want to tell you something, and I want to tell you something that I firmly believe in. Just like you could think negative, that something, God forbid, negative will happen, why do you have to go along that road? Why can't you think about something positive that will happen? Because most of the time, the negative doesn't happen. and think about all the damage that it's done to us. It's a shame. It's a big shame. So let's move ourselves to that negative side, to that positive side, please. Okay, and so you can take the smoky quartz and the celestite and the howite, and they will be beneficial. Sneeze coming. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, now I want to make another suggestion. Ask for help. Very often, people are there, people are around, and they want to help you. Be there for each other. I know that at the beginning of the war, I'm going back to October 2023, okay, I live in a community, and there were people, first of all, everybody was anxious. I live in the Shomron, okay, and we didn't know that there wasn't going to be a war starting here and they weren't going to come and attack us. Baruch Hashem, it didn't happen. You talk to people. We really, as a community, we overcame this. And of course, many of the men were called up, the sons, the husbands, the brothers, etc. were all called, many of them were called into the army. So if you're part of a community and you work together, it makes a very big difference. You let people know. Okay, now you let people know that you need help. Call out for help. If somebody said to you that your neighbor is feeling really worried about her, this or that or the other, she's not great, and she's not doing so good right now, maybe you could make her a saucepan of soup, a bowl of soup you could bring into her. If you can't, you can turn to someone else, and then someone else will go to her. But if she tells us that she's not feeling good, she's going to get that bowl of soup. She's going to get something. I know where I live. I'm in charge of organizing the food. I don't have to do the food myself, and I put it out today. It's so easy for us on the WhatsApp group. I put out there who could make soup, who could make chicken, who could make this, who could make that, whatever it may be. Filled up, we get for families, because believe me, a lot of the people whose husbands were in Aza in the beginning, they couldn't cook. They have families. She said, one of the women I took in, I made chicken for her, and I took in, she said, Gila, you don't know what this does for us. You're keeping my family going. I cannot do it. So we were able to help. And so the point isn't that I was able to help. The point is that she received help because she told people what she needed. So yes, it's a worrying situation. I'm not going to deny that. And if you feel that I'm not the type of person, we need two things. Okay. One part is calling out for help. And for that, I'm going to I'm going to recommend the blue lace agate. Okay. This blue lace agate is a fantastic stone. It helps us with our speech to say what we want, to express ourselves more clearly. And that's what we need to be able to express and say what we want. I need more help, please. And I'm going to turn to you again and say, take that rose quartz so that you have the confidence to ask for what you need and to know that people are there and they want to help you. Just tell me what you want. Think about how many people you would love to help if you knew what to do for them. Okay. And if you're in a situation that you're one of those people who need help, then we would love to help you. You've got to tell us. So therefore, take the blue lace agate, and the rose quartz are going to be helpful for that. The other thing I want to suggest is when you want to be part of the community, sometimes it's actually not so easy because you might live in an isolated region. For whatever reason, it's difficult for you to get out. It's difficult for you to meet the people, etc. There may be book clubs that you could join, shiurim that you could participate in, whatever it may be. Join an exercise group. Doesn't always do. There are so many things available online. We have Ray Shagalov's group, okay, which is a fantastic group. A number of us here are part of this group. We have Pearl Lopian in Jerusalem, okay? She has a tapping group. There are just pulling two examples that I know of. I'm sure there are many more, but there are things available online as well. So let's take advantage. Let's really take advantage to try and be part of a community. It will make you feel better. And if you need to turn on some charm, then take the onyx. Onyx, black stone. I don't have it here. I'm not wearing my onyx necklace. I'm wearing my yellow jasper necklace. But onyx is a great stone. Believe me, I've used it in circumstances where people would be really unfriendly, I have to tell you. And I actually put a video out about it. I went to this place and people unfriendly 1 week, 2 week, whatever. And I said, okay, I'm going to give my onyx a go. And I've got a big onyx necklace and I wore my onyx necklace and people came up and talked to me. It was like amazing. So I really think it gives you confidence and it also gives you that little bit of extra charm as well. There are another two stones that I want to tell you about. I want to tell you about the abalone as well, because the abalone is there to help us and to give us energy when we're going through difficult times. Okay. And it also calms fears. Okay. We know anxiety, stress is fear related. Okay. So that's very important. And another stone is the pearl. The pearl is a stone that we use frequently. How many of us have got pearl necklaces? I've got my pearl earrings on. Exactly. I've got put up two hands. I love my pearls. Okay, so wear your pearls, ladies. Love your pearls because they are great. They are wonderful when you're scared of something. They are a calming stone, and they also help us to accept ourselves as we are. This is me. Okay, this is me. This is who I am. It's okay. It's okay. And then maybe another couple of stones as well. Amazonite. Okay, I've got it on me. I'll show it to you in a minute. Okay, there are some stones I'll show you in a minute. Okay, the Amazonite is a green stone, and apart from helping us understand ourselves authentically, it's a great stone to bring us balance. Okay, so instead of us being up and down, literally emotionally up and down, it helps to balance us out, to even us out. It's a very good stone. And the optical calcite. Calcites are a family of stones that come in all different colors. And the optical is a clear one and it's like squarish. And this stone helps with that, everything that's going on in our head. It helps calm all that distress in our minds. It helps calm that down, relax our mind when we have these concerning thoughts that just don't stop. Okay? It's very good for anxiety, for worry, etc. So it's good. It's wonderful. So those are the stones I want to talk to you about. Now, what I like to do normally is at the beginning, I show you a bunch of crystals and everybody chooses, but it didn't work out that way today for whatever reason. So I'm going to show you, I want to share my screen now and show you crystals. And choose which one you like. Choose. And then you can call out to me what number you have chosen. Call out, or you can put it on the chat. When you say number 3, which one is it? The top or the bottom? You can talk.
I have to pick between all of them?
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything, okay?
They're not the same?
They're similar, but they give us some more clues on different things.
Hi, it's Deborah. I'll take the middle one in number 7.
Okay, I just want to know, I'm at number 3, actually. Okay, that one makes a difference because we have 4. That's 1.
It's like which one attracts us the most? Is that what it is?
You're choosing which stone attract. You're telling me which attracts you the most.
I would say the top 3.
The top 3. So I just want to ask you here whether you have problems sleeping.
Well, I have a baby, so yeah.
Okay, that would definitely
Not intentionally, but I do wake up because of him.
okay, fine.
I don't think I would otherwise.
Okay, okay, I understand that for sure. Okay, anybody else want to choose?
Yeah, I like it doesn't have a number though, these purpley white ones.
These ones here?
I put on my video, I'm sorry. I don't know why I have to go out of it and then go in
Don't
again.
worry, that's fine. That's fine. This one,
You know which ones I'm talking about?
these ones that I'm showing
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Okay, fine, terrific. Okay, okay, so it's interesting. I think, did anybody choose two? I don't think so.
I don't see two.
No, I
What
like
numbers?
5. I love 5.
Okay, I have people that have
Okay.
chosen one. Okay, make sure I've got your stone down, because if not, then write it again in the chat. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, and 11, correct?
What was that purple one that I
It,
chose? I don't see the number.
number 3,
3.
2 I do have. Now I have 2.
I
And
picked two.
yes, I have. Okay, terrific. So now I'm going to talk to you with the numbers, and that way, I know what I'm saying, then I'll show you. So we have different stones here, obviously. People who chose 1, okay, this is so that you have an understanding of how we are attracted to the crystals that are good for us. Each of you chose a crystal here without knowing necessarily what crystal they are and what they do for us. Okay. So when you chose the crystal, you chose, I hope intuitively, what you felt like. People who chose number 1, and if you want, you can take a photo, but I want to take off the screen, the share, and know what number you've taken, which number you chose. And then if you've got a photo of it, you can verify, you can have a look. Okay, anyone who's wanted can take a photo. Okay, there we go. Now I get to see you. I like to see you much more. Those of you that I can see, and then I see your comments better, etc., etc. So number 1 is the citrine, and the citrine is a stone of success. Okay, so whomever it was that chose number 1, you can give me a thumbs up, okay, please, or whatever it is that you feel like commenting. You're somebody that wants to succeed. It's important for you to succeed because you've chosen a stone of success. You also like to see all the different perspectives. Okay. Now, number 2 is the green aventurine. The green aventurine is a stone that helps us to turn the page. Okay. You want to, how do you say, turn over a new leaf? Okay, that is a very beneficial stone for that. Interestingly, the green aventurine, is also terrific for any part of the body. You can place it anywhere, and anybody can use it. It's very interesting. Number 3 is the amethyst, which a few of you chose, Tammy chose. And the amethyst is a calming stone. So maybe you want more calm in your life. Okay, and when you have the chevron amethyst, which was the top ones, it indicates to me that there are issues with sleeping. Okay, that's why I asked if you have sleep issues, and you said, yes, can't sleep because the baby doesn't let you. So please God, your baby will start to sleep through the night and you'll be able to sleep. And then number 4, I'm not getting thumbs up. It's like very reassuring for everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Sammy. Okay. It's reassuring for the audience, for people to know. I know that they work. I know how powerful these crystals are. Number 4 is the pyrite. The pyrite is a happy stone. Okay. It helps to bring more happiness into our lives. This is for people who are inherently happy, but at the moment, it's a little bit challenging to be happy. Okay? So that is the pyrite. Number 5 was the amazonite that we talked about, or the amazonite. And this is like you're an authentic type of person, right? And you want more balance, right? Sometimes you need a little bit more balance in your life as well. It's actually one of the stones that I don't normally put up, but I felt today that I wanted to share this stone because I think that is very beneficial to deal with anxiety as well. Now, nobody chose the rose quartz, number 6.
I said I like the 6 as well.
Thank you. Because that's just like, I mean, for me, it's my go-to on everything. I told you before. It really makes us feel good about ourselves, okay? Gives us more self-confidence and self-love, and take that time out for yourself. Look after yourself, okay? Number 10, nobody chose 8 or 9, did they? Number 10.
Yes, I chose 8.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I chose 7, not 8. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, good you said it because I nearly jumped over number 7. Okay, and I think a couple of people chose 7. And number 7 is called the pink agate. That's also not one that I often show. But I said, now it's a pink agate time. It's when we have something on our heart that's bothering us now. It's something that's upsetting us or something that's with us now. It's not a long-term issue. Please God, we're going to get over it. But now it's taking up space and it's causing me upset right now. Okay. Number 10 is the pidosite, which we talked about, which helps to create change. There's something somewhere that you want you need, it would be beneficial to create change. Okay, there are like certain patterns there which could be changed, and that's very pedicite. Okay, it also gives you energy to your body. Pedicite, you'll see in a minute how you spell it. Okay, and then the blue lace agate is a stone which is terrific for our speech. It helps us say what we want in the best way possible. People who choose blue lace agate, they are able to express themselves, but they want to be able to express themselves even better. Okay, I call it the Even HaNeumim, the speech stone. So if you're going to give a speech or you're going to talk in front of a crowd or whatever it may be, you've got to say something, take your blue lace agate with you. And now what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to share the screen.
Wait, did I miss 8 and 9?
I didn't talk about 8 and 9 because nobody chose 8 and 9, as far as I know. Okay, I'm going through these to. Here you've got the names of the stones. So if you want to know which stones and which names, you're welcome to take a photo.
I can't see the top line. I don't know why.
I think it might be your screen. Most people, can you see this top line?
There's something here blocked.
No
Yeah.
problem.
The part that
Yes.
says the meeting is being recorded is on top of it. Okay.
Okay.
What's that
I'll send
purpley
it to
one?
you. I'll send you a picture. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. So, ladies, now, if you have some questions, please feel free to ask.
Smoky quartz is good for anxiety, isn't it?
Smoky is good for anxiety. It's great for those negative thoughts that are going on in
Mhm.
your mind. Okay.
Gila,
Yeah.
when you say to have them with you, do you mean physically in your hand or in your pocketbook or a pocket of your clothing?
Okay. So that's a really important question, Renee. When I mean that, I mean I take crystals and I wear them. So I could wear them in a bracelet. I could wear them in a necklace. I could wear them in a pocket. Pocketbook is or handbag is not such a strong point because we want to feel the energy. Okay, we want to feel the all the Tadarim frequencies of the crystals that we want them to come to us. We can place them in our clothing, in our bra on the left side. Now, you can't place all stones this way in all parts of the body. You can't necessarily, it's not beneficial to wear all stones as bracelets or to wear all stones in our bra. There's a whole Torah, so to speak, on how to do that correctly. Obviously, we learn that in the courses, but that's how we wear them. And the other way of using crystals is also by placing them in a glass of water. You take a glass, you can put some crystals in the glass, specific crystals, not all of them go in water, and then you add mineral water. And you drink that water once a day. And that water has the frequency of the crystals. That little girl that I told you about, whose teacher would phone the mother and say, your daughter is doing so well, she was drinking water. Okay? She was drinking water from the crystals. And that's what made the big difference for her. It's an incredible thing. And people drink crystals for menopause, for all different types of things. Crystals go in water and you drink the water, and it makes a very big difference.
Thank you.
Is mineral oil water the best, you're saying, rather than spring water? Or
Spring water and mineral water, I think, are synonymous. Okay, spring water is the American term. Mineral water is probably the rest of the world. America has a language unto itself. Okay,
is filter water okay too, or is that different?
that's different.
That's
Definitely
different.
different.
Okay.
So I just had a question. You were talking about the young girl where the mother was noticing the difference with her in school. Is that like academically, behaviorally?
Behavior,
Behavior. So
definitely. That was behavior. Academically, I can't help somebody, you know, who's getting 50, you know, in their tests to get 70. I can't, you know, but no, that's not correct, actually. That was an unfair statement to myself. What we can do very often is help people to focus better, because very often the reason that kids aren't doing well in school or adults aren't doing well is because it's hard to focus and hard to remember. So we have crystals that help us with that, you know, so that can make a very big difference, actually.
So
Okay.
what would be the like is there what would be the correct crystal to use for someone who's like challenged with behavior in the classroom?
It depends what it depends. You know, we have stones for ADHD. There are sets of stones for that. And there are, you know, sets of stones to improve somebody's memory. You know, there's stones to calm people down, stones for anxiety, all different stones for different requirements. There's a lot of different things on my website. Okay. And you can reach out to me privately. Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I have a question, Gila. First
Yeah.
of all, thank you very much. It's been very interesting. So if we were to put this stone in mineral water or spring water, how long would we leave it in there for?
Okay,
Before
you put the stone in the water for 24 hours.
Mhm.
Okay. And then after 24 hours, you drink the water. And then you replace the spring water, the mineral water. And then you drink again. So you're drinking once every 24 hours.
Right.
After 1 week, you need to purify. Okay. After a week of using the stones, we purify because the stones are working hard. Purifying stones means we need to re-energize these stones. So we take them and we put them under cold running water for 2 minutes in the kitchen. You can just hold them in your hand. Okay. Open the tap in the kitchen, 2 minutes, cold running water, and then you take them outside in daylight for 3 hours. Okay?
What if there's no sun? Like,
good question, important question. It could be rainy, it could be cloudy, it could be any weather you like, as long as they're outside. Because think about nature. Okay? If the stones come from nature, they come from the outside. Doesn't matter what the weather is, they're there. Okay, they've experienced all different types of weather.
Also, I have another question that just came to mind. How do you know if some stones are authentic or not? Like, is it possible for stones not to be authentic?
Absolutely, absolutely. First, I would say you need to buy some from somewhere reputable. That's number one. Okay, that's number one. Main thing is to buy from somewhere that you could rely on. And number two, if you see a pattern that repeats very consistently, then the chances are that it's fake.
What do you mean by that?
If you take a stone, let's see, here, take a look at this stone. Okay, it's
Mhm.
got a pattern on it. It doesn't have a regular repetition. Okay, but if it looks like manufactured and too perfect, then it probably is too perfect.
Mm. And
Okay,
what would you say would be like the criterion to know whether or not a place is reputable?
what country are you in?
I'm in New York in America.
So I recommend you can, in Muncie, there's a shop that you could rely on called Trove, Trove.
Hmm.
Okay, the manager, the woman who runs the shop, whose shop it belongs to, is called Rissi. She's a religious Jew, and you could rely on her totally. Okay, and even you can get a discount if you go there by using my name, Gila, Gila, and that will get you a 10% discount. So that's a store that I happen to know of.
Hmm.
I don't know, but my students buy stones in New York, and they would know better. Okay, I know Israel, I know there. And even I was recently in Brazil, and I went to buy stones there because Brazil is like the Mecca of stones. And so I went to this fabulous shop there, and I bought crystals, and I could see there were crystals there that were not authentic as well. Okay, so it's something that you learn. It's something with time. I advise people to go buy stones because that's the way you learn stones. Okay,
Hmm. Thank you.
pleasure.
Do you sell the stones?
Yeah, sure. It's not my big thing that I sell stones, but when I do assessments with people, then I usually supply the stones as well. Right? I'll
Right.
provide people with stones afterwards if people want here and there, etc. But that's definitely not my main thing. I want to tell you now, um, okay, that I am, please God, starting a course, okay, on the 31st, on the 1st of December. Okay, please God, I'm starting a new course where you could learn about how to use crystals. It's, first of all, it's fun. I have a lot of people who do this course just because they want to know more about crystals. They don't plan to use it beyond using it with their family or not using it with their family. Everybody ends up, you can't resist because crystals are sort of irresistible. If you have that tendency, you have that in, they're just, irresistible in my opinion. Okay. So during the course, you'll learn for your own benefit, okay? Or you can learn and people are using them in the clinic. One of my students, she actually comes to teach my students. I have a special section in one of the courses where she comes and she shows how she uses it because I use crystals in a particular way. I do assessments with them, I do healing, but she is a massage therapist. So she's using them for massage. And I want to expose people to that. But once she had the foundation and she studied with me, she knew how to use them, what to use them, and she still consults with me. So they can go in a lot of different directions. People choose lots of different directions to take their studies, but once you've got the basis and you know what they are, how they can be used, what this crystal means, etc., and what it means when someone chooses and how they choose it, and all the different energy centers, etc., that is really beneficial. So the course, please God, takes place on Sundays because I want people from all over the world to join. And it's like a beautiful group of women who are in the course. I haven't had it otherwise yet. Baruch Hashem, it's a gift. And I thank Hashem for that. I have to tell you, always lovely, lovely women participating in the course. And it becomes a sort of a community. We're like a community and we care for each other and we're there for each other. Of course, my course is always taught through the Jewish perspective, and we do exercises as well as a lot of hands-on stuff as well. I've added in now that I do an assessment, a brief assessment for each of the people taking the course. We'll have a brief assessment so that you could actually experience it and know what it's like for yourself and to have the benefit and the pleasure of that. And oh, look at that. Okay, now I have an early bird offer, but this is a special early bird offer. Okay, so for module 1, the price is 1,850 shekel, okay, or about $650, including the assessment, including the crystals, and the crystals are sent to you, to your home, okay? And then this is available until the 31st of October. If you're interested, you can reach out to me, you can ask questions, etc. And I also have a package, I have a package deal, which means people who know that they want to study more about crystals, they're going to take it into their clinic, or they know they love crystals and they want to keep on learning them more, or they want to create a clinic, okay? So they say, great, I'm going to take up this deal and I'm going to do all 3 courses. I want to do all 3. We've actually continued to module 4, module 5, but that's separate, okay? And there's a package deal where obviously is a good saving for you. And so these offers are available to you.
What's the difference between the 3 courses?
So in module 1, we have the basics. We need to understand what the energy centers are. We need to understand what the Jewish sources are. And we have 1 box of crystals and we learn about the crystals, and it's all very new about the purification process and how we drink the crystals, which ones, etc. Module 2, we increase. I give you each module comes with a new set of crystals. So you're broadening your knowledge of crystals. We do more exercises with the crystals and you become much more proficient. There's more practice and I up the game. Okay, so if you could do a simple assessment before, you can do something a little bit more complicated, more serious. And as we go, we get more sophisticated along the way.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions, ladies? Okay, so thank you for being with me. Feel free to reach out to me. Email, WhatsApp, all works through the website or using my email address. All is good. And I thank you for joining me. And
Sorry, I have a question
Thank you.
before you go.
yeah,
I'm just
Lucky
curious, how do you know, I mean, what's the difference between the Jewish perspective and the non-Jewish perspective towards using crystals?
it's not necessarily what's the difference. It's that we need to know that it's something kosher, Torah-based, that it's okay to use. Because there are many people that are going to say, crystals, avodah zarah, idol worship. Crystals,
Right.
how could you use it? All different comments that you can get from people. So we're going to avoid that. When we have the Jewish basis, we understand that Rabbeinu Bachaya, a great sage, talks about this, and we understand that it's written in the Gemara about crystals. It already changes the perspective a little bit and gives us a greater understanding.
Is there any way that crystals can be used in a not kosher way? Or is it just an
Hey,
understanding
you
that
know what?
Torah
First
talks
of
about?
all, I don't go that route. That's going to the negative. That's not my way. I do the
No, I'm
positive
just saying
reframe.
if somebody's trying to make an argument that like, oh no, it's not kosher, it's avodah zarah or whatever, is there an aspect of that, or is it just an
Listen,
understanding that this is
If
God given?
somebody takes a piece of food and they put it on the avodah zarah things that they have, like I was in Thailand and I saw all these little avodah zarah things outside people's places. And if you put food there, what are you doing to that food? And the
Making
same
it-
thing, if you take a stone and you put it there, yeah. Okay, that's why, ladies, I want to tell you, I don't know where these stones, I buy stones from a reliable source. I don't know if they've been used before. I don't believe that they have. However, I take all of my stones to the mikveh and I purify them. So any stones coming out of my shop has been purified in a mikveh, as well as using the method that I mentioned to you earlier. Okay, so that's very important. Ladies, thank you very much. And I look forward to being in touch with all of you. Please God, there's a panel on Sunday night. You'll get more info about that in the next few days. I've got some really exciting and fascinating guests. It's going to be great. Please God. Lead trod, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.